All right, here's the thing. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, and I'm a worker. I work about 40 to 60 hours per week. But really, at heart, I'm a gamer, right? I'm a gamer. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of time to game, so I can just be a filthy casual. And so then I come across Tarkov here, and now all you see left and right is Tarkov this, Tarkov that. You check all your favorite streamers, Tarkov this. You check all your favorite YouTubers, Tarkov. It looks like a really fun game. And I have had the game for a little while, but I haven't been able to get into it because I just don't have a lot of time. So I really wanted to buckle down. I wanted to do this simple experiment for me and all the dads out there. Can you play Escape from Tarkov casually? That's the question we're going to ask today, and that's the experiment. So that's what this video is about. So I asked because I put so much time into this. Like or subscribe. Either one of those two. Comment your favorite bologna sandwich topping. I don't care. But I did put a lot of time into this video, and I didn't hardly know anything about the game. I didn't know the maps very well. So in order to combat this, I went over to Legion Pros and I got... just kidding. I didn't do that. I just kind of wung it. I pulled up the map on my other screen, but that's about it. All right, so on to the experiment. I know that was an annoying intro, but I will put the timestamps down below so you can see what you want to see. Oh, and spoiler alert, I guess you're supposed to put this in the intro. Yes, you probably can play Tarkov casually, but you're probably not going to finish the whole thing, and you may not even have fun. It depends on how much time you want to put into it. All right, Tactical Capital G gamers, let's get into it. Okay, here's how I set up the experiment. Now, I tried to do this as scientifically accurate as possible, though there were some ups and downs. Now, because I'm an educated man, I wanted to do this active science using the proper scientific method. I didn't subject myself to 6.5 years of higher education and fled myself into $100,000 in debt just for nothing. I know a thing or two about science, or something. Also, like and subscribe to help me pay that back. Anyways, the scientific method. Ask a question, background research, form a hypothesis, test with an experiment, analyze the data, report your results, and discuss with your hypothesis. Like I said, the question I ask is, can you play Escape from Tarkov casually? While this isn't the most objective question, it is an important one. Yes, opinions will be involved as well as my skill in gaming compared to others. Overall though, I feel like I'm an average gamer. I mean, I've gotten a few wins in battle royales, but nothing really special. So, maybe this doesn't apply to ridiculous gamers like Shroud, maybe you've got that kind of aim. If you do, then don't listen to any of this. Now, my background research was minimal. I had played this game a little before, but not much. I've had the game for about a year, I think, but I really didn't get immersed into the game because of how hard it was. I did know, however, that there was a recent wipe, so that leveled the playing field a bit. Everyone would be somewhat on the same level, so I decided this was a great time to do the experiment. Okay, now on to my hypothesis. I don't think you can play Tarkov casually. There are so many items and so many different kind of armors and ammos and different types of weapons and so many quests. The game is just such a hardcore game. Now, that's not really the fault of the game. The game is primarily a role-playing game, an RPG, and they're supposed to be massive and immersive and have a million different mechanics. But they've also made it hardcore, so that makes it very difficult to progress when you die. Because when you die, you lose everything. The learning curve is really steep, and my hypothesis is that if you don't have much time to game, you're not going to be able to pick this up, and most definitely won't be able to complete all the quests and get to the max level. You may not even have fun. With that, it's time for the experiment. The initial assessment is 6 hours of play to determine how well I progress. In this instance, I did it over 2 days. I determined my quality of play based on level, quests completed, raids survived, kills, deaths, and as a bonus, the cost of all the items in my stash. Then I attempt to play every day for about an hour over the next 13 days. I actually missed 2 days in this scenario, and a couple of days I was only able to play for about 30 minutes each because, well, I have a child, I have a pregnant wife, and I need to help out a bit. It's also a bit more realistic presentation, I guess, of casual gaming, so I would assume that even an hour a day can be considered a little bit more than casual. So overall, I game for 11 days for an average of around 50 minutes per day. After this intervention, I do the unthinkable. I reset my account and I play for another 6 hours to see how my stats have changed. I compare my results, and from there I give my very scientific, well-educated, debt-immersed results that determine if you can be a filthy casual and play and actually enjoy Escape from Tarkov. As a side note, I didn't look up any beginner's guides on YouTube or anything like that. I'm sure that would have made a difference. Instead, all I did was pull the extraction maps on my second monitor, so I knew I was headed in the right direction. So can you play Escape from Tarkov as a filthy casual? You want the simple answer? Well, that's stupid because this isn't a simple game. Yes, you can, but there are several caveats. Let's take a look at the data. Overall, everything essentially improved. During my first trial, I made it to level 2 with 2861 experience. After the intervention and reset, I was able to make it to level 4 with a total of 8,452 experience. Also, this is the closest to a chat I will ever look. But deep down, this guy knows he's a good little rat. Anyways, on to the other stats. Initially, I attempted 12 raids as a PMC, survived none, and was killed 12 times. Shocker. I had a total of 6 kills, an average lifespan of 31.5 minutes, and had a kill-to-death ratio of 0.5. And the total cost of the items in my stash were a whopping 317,913 rubles. Conversely, after the intervention and reset, I was able to complete 11 raids. I survived 2, which means I actually had a survival rate of 18% compared to 0 for the first one, and I was killed 9 times. I killed 9 people, I had a kill-to-death ratio of 1.0, an average lifespan of 41.5 minutes, and a chunky stash size of 1,190,684 rubles. I'd say that I did much better. I also was able to satisfy this guy twice by bringing him some shotties and a nice watch. During the intervention phase, the only thing I was able to do was complete one quest for Ms. Therapist here, and that was on my very last day. Everything improved across the board objectively. There's the hard data. Subjectively, here's what I noticed after my intervention. I had more confidence in my abilities, I had better map knowledge and knew relatively where the spawns would be, I was less nervous about running out in the open and taking shots, I overall had a much better time during the second assessment, I had more fun playing and felt more accomplished. I would argue this is actually the most important factor of the whole thing. If you're not a big-time Twitch streamer, you just want to have fun, right? So yes, I had more fun. Okay, those are the results. Subjectively and objectively, let's move on to the discussion. Alright, so it's obvious things changed. I got better, I had more fun, I learned the map better. However, if I want to legitimately be good at this game, it's going to take a long time. 2 weeks straight, and all I played basically was customs. I attempted factory a total of about 4 times through this entire experiment and tried to grab some scav shotties to complete the first quest, and it was awful. I tried woods maybe 4 times, but factory is the absolute worst, man. I had the absolute least fun there. I hate that place. But what I really want to discuss is how much time it's going to take to get to level 70. I think that's the max, right? Maybe 85. I don't know. Either way, if you want to level up, let's just say it's level 70. According to the wiki page, which may be a little outdated, I need 23,198,961 experience points. At my current rate, if I can get 8,500 experience in 6 hours, which equals out to about 1417 experience per hour, it would take me 16,371 hours just to get to this max level. Now, granted, when I actually acquired a modded M4 from a kitted Chad I killed with a skill shot, definitely not a luck shot, to the chest, I felt so much raw power and confidence that I became a madman. I went into factory on the last day, and I went out with a bang. I was dropping people left and right, and I swear, I really swear my health went up somehow, because I became a tank. Now I ended up dying because I knew that I was about to reset, so I didn't care. But if I were to game with that much confidence and knew the maps, I know that things would go a little bit quicker than this. But it's still going to take me a long time to get there, and I really don't think it's possible to do this as a casual gamer. If I'm really honest, I hated this experiment. It was hard. It was annoying, and most days I felt like I could be doing anything else. I could be making any other video and actually enjoying them. I felt that sometimes the odds were totally against me. I do understand that a game like this has some randomness to it, so I can't expect every experience to be enjoyable. As a quick example, I feel like the scav experiment during my second trial was much higher tiered equipment than my first trial. I think that can play a lot into the progression of the game as well. This may also be why I hated the experience during my short hours of play. I also have to keep in mind that I only began to learn just one single map. I really have no idea what the map reserve or shoreline looks like. I just don't know anything about the spawns or exits and factory. Like I said, I just played customs over the span of 2 weeks and probably over 30 times? That's a lot of time in customs before understanding where the spawns are and where the scav spawns are. That being said, final thoughts. If you're a husband and a dad and work a regular non-streamer job like me, you're going to have a really hard time having a great time in this game. There's a lot of time just waiting around to load into raids and organizing your stash. It's just going to take a lot of time. Now, you may have the best aim in the world, but if your supplies run low, you're going to get frustrated with all your Mosin runs. Now, as for me, I played a small amount before, but I never got further than the first quest, so I had just a little map knowledge. But if you're brand new, you're likely going to need a second monitor for your maps, and to watch some videos to get the hang of this. So, if this all sounds good to you and you're willing to give it a go, don't say I didn't warn you.